Findet jeder Platz?
Does everybody have a seat?
Ja, herzlich willkommen hier und überall.
Welcome here and everywhere.
Eine ereignisreiche Woche mündet im
Very
Topspiel morgen
eventful
Abend FC
week.
Bayern gegen RB Leipzig.
Ends in
Willkommen zur
a
Medienrunde. So viele Hände habe ich noch nie
Game
auf einmal
against
gesehen.
Leipzig on Saturday.
Fangen wir an,
I
hier
haven't
vorne,
seen that
wie
many
immer,
people in a
im
while,
Zentrum.
so let's
Torben
start with the
Hoffmann für Sky.
questions.
Und hallo Thomas erstmal. Sorry.
And hello, Thomas.
Ja, Thomas, wie kam es
Well,
jetzt zu
Thomas,
diesem
how did
Ereignis, dass man sich im Sommer
the event come about
trennen
that
wird?
you
Und Julian Nagelsmann, ich glaube,
gonna
das passt wie die Faust aufs Auge, hat gesagt,
leave
dass man beim FC
Bayern
Bayern München
at the
grundsätzlich
end of
als
the
Trainer zu wenig Zeit
season?
bekommt?
Julian Nagelsmann said that as a Bayern coach you never have enough time. What do you say about this
Kommentiere
statement?
jetzt keine anderen
Well, I'm not going
Aussagen,
to
die ich
comment
selber
on
nicht
other
gelesen und gehört habe.
statements that I haven't
Wie
read
kam es dazu? Wir haben am
or
Dienstag
heard.
gesprochen
How
und
did it come
dann
about? Well,
haben
we
uns,
talked on
am
Tuesday,
Mittwoch haben wir die
and
Mannschaft informiert und dann
on
schon euch
Wednesday
informiert.
we informed the team, and then we informed you.
Ja, die Gründe sind, wir
The
sind unzufrieden mit der Art und
reasons
Weise, wie
we
wir
are
spielen.
not
Dazu
happy with the
sind wir
way we
unzufrieden
play.
mit der
We are
Punkteausbeute, mit
unhappy
den 3
with
Niederlagen
the
in
points
Folge.
return and the 3
Ich denke,
losses on the
das
trot.
Bild ist nicht ein,
I think
es ist
that
kein
the
eindeutiges Bild. Ich denke, wenn es ein eindeutiges
Picture
Bild und einen
is
eindeutigen
not
Schuldigen gäbe, in dem Fall den Trainer,
really sharp.
säße
There's
heute
not
jemand anders
one
hier auf der
particular
PK.
person
Ich
to
denke, das
blame. If it was the
impliziert die
coach,
Entscheidung auch.
another person would be sitting here on the podium.
Ich stehe in der Verantwortung, also
So,
muss jemand die
but
Verantwortung
I'm
dafür
the
nehmen, für
person to be responsible, so one has to take the responsibility
die spielerische Entwicklung, die
for
Ergebnisse
the
nicht da sind, wie wir sie uns
development as far as the
vorstellen, wie ich sie
playing
vorstelle.
style, as far
Das
as
ist
the
so im
results are
professionellen
concerned. It's
Sport.
not
Wir haben
the
uns,
way I want them, and
geeinigt
that's
und
the
so
way
was
things
kommuniziert.
go in sports, and that's how we found a consent, and that's how we communicated it.
Ich stelle mir das grundsätzlich einfach sehr,
Mr.
sehr schwer vor, wenn jetzt eine
Tuchel,
Entscheidung bereits
I
feststeht. Man
can
aber
imagine
jetzt,
that this is very
ja, mit der
tough when a
größtmöglichen
decision has been
Professionalität
made
dann die
and
Saison
you
zu Ende
still
führen
want to
will,
finish the
muss,
season
im
with the
Sinne des
highest
Produktes, sag ich mal,
professionalism
im Sinne dessen,
possible.
was man möglicherweise noch in dieser Saison gewinnen kann. Wie werden Sie und Ihr Trainer
With
das
regards to
angehen?
everything you want to win, how are you going to approach the rest of the season? Well, it's pretty easy. We all love football. We all love what we do, so it's pretty simple. To me, it never played a role whether I had a contract for 5 years or 5 weeks, whether I had a high salary or not. It doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is the right here and now, and all the circumstances are new. But if you just think about it, at least I do, it doesn't really matter whether I can understand the decision, whether I think it's good, whether I'm relieved or not, I'm happy or not. It doesn't matter at all. I love this job, and I will obviously, just like I did in the past, I will put in the same energy. If you can understand the decision, if you like it or not, it doesn't matter. We now have clarity, and clarity brings freedom. And this is always good, whether it's to playing or to practicing. Mr. Tuchel, in the past couple of days, a lot has been written about your relationship to Joshua Kimmich. In the past couple of days? Well, yes, so I wanted to ask you how you see that. And if you say not only in the last couple of days, how do you see the role of Joshua Kimmich this season and in this situation in particular? And one question to the situation was, is it true that you also wanted to have that split, and why didn't you want to continue throughout the summer? Well, I don't know whether there was the option for me to decide, because I'm under contract with the club. It didn't take us long. It was a short talk, well, a normal length talk on Tuesday, and then we made this decision. I see it very professionally, and that's the professional sport is on the highest level. When it doesn't really matter what I want, and we have to find a mutual decision. And I think that I am not the only problem, but I'm responsible, and I don't have a problem with that. And I take responsibility, and you can be assured that I'm not happy with the way we play, and I wasn't happy when we won games, and we wanted to have it differently on the pitch. Now it's a new situation, new for me, new for my staff, new for the team. But we have solved it. It's communicated, and so I believe that, like I said, it's clear, and hopefully it will give us freedom. At least it will give freedom to the coach and his decisions and the way he acts, and hopefully with the team as well, to feel free. And I don't think I'm the only problem, but I am the one who's got to take responsibility, and I'm taking that responsibility. There's no problem about it.
No, lass mal. Also Kimmich, sorry.
Oh yeah, there's the question about Kimmich. About Josh. Josh is an extremely important player. He's a leader, and I think in the last couple of games he didn't really reach his top form. There's nothing more to say. We try to fight for common goals, and that's not going to change.
Im Endeffekt ist es jetzt ja für Sie. Sie sagen, Sie haben die
In the
Freiheit.
end, to you, you say you have the freedom now. How do you see it, that the team reacted? Because in the past couple of games, I thought that the energy was missing. Do you fear that the energy is going to drop even further? Well, we have to see. I cannot say too much about it. I never had the feeling that we were not reaching the team, and we had a problem, a bigger problem in between this coaching staff and the team. But we have not a clear picture. I was talking about that earlier. There's a huge discrepancy between how we practice and how we play, and that's the responsibility of the coach. We were practicing on a very good level, as always, but whether I can promise you that everything will be better at the weekend, I don't know. Well, I'm sitting here quite often, and I was very certain that we'd be able to perform on a high level, but it didn't happen. So how could I sit here and say everything is all right? Because that would mean that before everything was bad, and if everything were to be bad, somebody else would be sitting up here. But we still have goals to aim for. We play for the championship, and we're not going to give up before it's decided. And we have a return fixture in the Champions League, playing for the quarterfinals. And so we're going to go for the highest success possible as well. Mr. Tuchel, you said you were not the only problem. Were there moments when you were disappointed by your players because you can play yourself? And you said when you were introduced that this is one of the best and talented squads in Europe. Yeah, that's why I'm disappointed from me and the way we currently play, but I'm not personally disappointed by the players because I'm their coach, and we have high expectations, and they're not going to change. And they're not going to change for tomorrow or for the next weeks. We have high expectations regarding the players, and we try to get the maximum out of them. And we were giving all we could, and it's not over yet. And we haven't yet reached the performance that we wanted and that I was expecting from myself as well. And that's why we're deciding this split to the end of the season. But it's to the end of the season, and it's not about that one situation or one struggle, or we are not working against each other or on a parallel basis. We work together, and you can tell from the way we work every day. We put in lots of energy, but to me personally, I cannot understand that you're not seeing that on the stadium, because I can see it in the stadium as well, and it's my responsibility, obviously. Mr. Tuchel, one question. The FC Uncoachable has been on the headlines. Were you expecting too much? Were you having not the right mindset maybe going into this job? Well, it's not really important to look back. There was a call, and within 48 hours, we made this decision to join Bayern Munich because we wanted to take it over, and now it's not even a year. So it feels like, to me, it's for the first time that the development steps were just not constantly acknowledgeable. We collected an extreme amount of points. We set records, which must not be forgotten. We have huge problems with injured players. That's for tomorrow as well. We were self-confident enough. And this is our right as the coaching staff. We thought that we could lift the team to the next level on a constant basis, and we haven't managed that. And that's why somebody else is going to do it come this summer. Mr. Tuchel, in the American politics, talk is about a lame duck. If you know that the president will leave, how do you fear that you're going to lose your authority as well? Because one of the players might think, well, he's going to be away in a couple of weeks as well. Well, it's going to talk more about the player than about my authority. We have been talking with fans as well, and they said they had the feeling that it didn't really match between you and Bayern Munich. How would you see it in hindsight? Did you feel at home here? Yes. I believe that there's more to this than just a few fan voices. Whether I've been at home here, obviously you're judged by the way the team plays, how many points they gather, and the way they play. And we are behind our expectations, but they influence a culture within the club. It starts with the kit man, the physios, the media directors, and so on, and you set the tone for working together. And I don't think you're going to find too many voices that will tell you that I've not been at home here at Bayern. I just don't feel it that way, and I would say it is the opposite. I can understand where the people are coming from and what they mean, but it might be just a matter of not seeing how we are working with the team, but I still can understand them, and so it's a jump into that conclusion. Well, he just wasn't at home in the club, so hopefully next summer everything will be fine. Mr. Tuchel, you said now clearness will lead to freedom. What freedom do you expect tomorrow against Leipzig, and which clearness will it give you in order how to act till the end of the season, because something will change? And you were talking about the personnel situation. Can you give us an update on that? Well, Serge will be out, Fonzie is out, Sasha Boy is out, Mazraoui is out, Coman is out, Upa will be suspended. We'll be back in practice, and will probably be in the squad. So the situation will change. The decision for a coach are more guided by a freedom, because I know that my decisions, well, you don't really have to think about the long-term effect that your decisions are gonna bring, because you can make a decision just and coach everything just like a cup game, from game to game, because a squad decision, a substitution, starting 11, to me personally doesn't have a long-term effect in how will that change the chemistry in the club, how will that lead to the player maybe wanting to leave when he's out of an important game. This will all be far away for me, and there are certain examples where this helped, the coach and maybe the team, and the expectations to my team are always very high for me personally, because the expectations on myself are also very high, so I'm always expecting the maximum. We haven't delivered that too often. Tomorrow is a very important game. The results, as of late against Leipzig, are very clear. Unfortunately, not to our liking. Leipzig has lots of things that really hurt us, and so we have to. And I know that the players, we're talking to each other all the time. We're not standing in front of each other and not talking with the players being happy and I'm being sad. That's not the situation. We have a relationship and a very open relationship, and we're based on talking to each other, and that's not going to stop. And so I know how the players feel, and we will see tomorrow. We have been talking so often that we practice well. We're talking so often that we're going to set a sign. We haven't delivered that pretty often after 3 losses on the trot, playing at home against Leipzig. With the results that we had against Leipzig in the past, well, everybody has to know that we have to be mentally and physically going to the extreme. We have the situation in the squad that we are missing speed, we are missing a right back, but we're going to find solutions and we're going to attack tomorrow. Mr. Tuchel, you were talking about, as the example, Joshua Kimmich, that there has been lots of talk about noises around the team. Would you have liked to have more focus on sports? And after a week like that, where so many things happened, do you think that you will be able to prepare well for that game? Has the mood in the team changed? Well, we were practicing well before that. We practiced well now. So like I said, it's completely new with a group of around 20 players, that some will have a closer relationship to the coach and others not. But generally, we are based on mutual respect, and we are expecting something from the athletes and from the person in the locker room, and we have expectations. We're communicating well. If there was any sort of breakup, then somebody else would be sitting here. We made the decision to, and we're making clarity in that situation. So after the losses, we didn't want to reach the situation where there's been so much talk about, will he stay, will he not, are the players playing against the coach or not, and everything. So this is all out the window, and we have now no excuses anymore, or no noises, however you want to call it. And so we're going to start anew, but we're not going to change too much in our preparation for the game. And I have the expectation of me as a professional, and I'm going to fulfill that, and I'm not going to give even a percentage off. Mr. Tuchel, you were talking about the maximum success. This was also part of your press statement. What do you want to reach? Well, we're playing for 2 titles, and even though it doesn't look too well, we're still playing for 2 titles, and the maximum success on the weekend is about 3 points, and that's what we play for. As easy as that. Mr. Tuchel, you said in your analysis that you are not the only problem at Bayern Munich for that situation. Where do you see the other problems and reasons why your way of working didn't work out, unlike it did with the other clubs where you're working very successfully, and with Julian Nagelsmann as well, who couldn't deliver what you hoped for? Well, the responsible people know my analysis. It's a very self-critical analysis as well, but they know it, and definitely it's not an analysis for the public. So we need a bit of time because the microphone has to change places.
Jawohl. Herr Tuchel, jetzt haben wir viel über die
Mr. Tuchel, we've been talking about so much about the freedom for the players. What do you think? How difficult will it be for you to not think about your future come this summer? That's very easy, because till the end of the season, nothing is going to happen. To me, it's all about the moment. I don't know what's going to happen in the summer, but I'm not going to influence those things. That has never happened for me to think about other things during a job or to plan for other things. This job, to me, it only works with 100% from what I have, and that's why I have an idea. But this is going to stay in the drawer until we have played our last game, and otherwise it's not going to happen, or otherwise I'm not going to happen. I have a very high professional expectation of myself, and this is only going to be work with 100% in the job that I have, and that is 100% Bayern Munich. I would like to go back to the evaluation and the long-term effects. We have the feeling that you can do now what you wanted to do in the past, but what a couple of players as far as mentality and character is concerned, that you are disappointed from a couple of players and now you're free in your decisions, because otherwise you had the fear of mourning of the players or players leaving. No, it's not about Bayern Munich. It's something completely normal. And I said, it has nothing to do with the players. It was the same in Paris, in Dortmund, in London. A player that is at the club for a long time, who has a long-term contract, you always have to take into consideration and how you act with the player, how you're planning with the players. And that's the way I always work. Also with the starting 11, no matter how the contract situation is. Yes. Well, you can see it that way, but I think that it plays a role. And it plays a role whether, well, every player gets an individual treatment, whether it be an 18-year-old newcomer or a 25-year-old or 30-year-old. It's a different kind of treatment, and I wouldn't even leave you out of that equation. If Thomas Müller stays on the bench, how are your questions? And when Rafael Guerreiro is on the bench, how are your questions then? Well, that is completely the topic now. You're talking about what from you as a feedback. It doesn't really reach me, because you are the first who are making the decisions on how to, well, he substituted this or that player, and it's going to be a breaking news for 2 weeks. But if it's about Rafael Guerreiro or other players, no word will be spread about that, and it's very naive if you just ask about, well, is it a difference whether this player plays or that? It wasn't different when in your playing days. So I think it's a bit of hypocritical, actually, because we are always working the way that when you have as a player, it was with Jupp as well, when Pep was already advertised and he won all the titles. Well, whether you like it or not, we don't practice any different, but there is obviously, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's good or not, it gives you a few percentages of more freedom as far as your decisions are concerned, to be more ruthless, maybe. But now we have to really take that injury situation into account, and I think it's a really big point. We didn't have one situation this season when players are really fighting for their places because they knew this certain position was that was a real challenge for that position because I have to deliver and have to practice hard because everybody who is participating in practice will make the squad. And I think there wasn't even a situation when we had one player and tell him, well, you're not going to make the squad today. And that's just not helping you. And that's that we're missing this certain bite, this certain energy to say, well, I'm not going to leave that pitch because I have to fight for my place. And this is certainly one big part of that situation. I don't know exactly how I started the answer or how I'm going to end this answer. But so we finished that on high passion. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.